We did see Jacob Markstrom leave practice early.
Yeah.
What's going on there?
He got what he needed today, and then it was just a maintenance thing for him. Yeah.
How are you feeling overall about the team's game coming off this really tough 7-game stretch?
I thought we did a lot of good things over that period. I mean, if you look at the Vegas game, that's one where you could say we relied on Jacob. We felt too much in that game. But there was a lot of things that we did well. We guys would point to the Chicago game for sure, but how they rebounded after that is one more of for me, a telling story as to how the guys approached their business over the last 3 in particular. So we're pleased with the direction that they took this last mini road trip, if you want to call it.
How big an injection was having all the mentors and
I'd say it was big. Like they brought a different energy level with them. Like I know the dads are there and they're there for a good time and to watch their boys play, but there is such a level of excitement from the dads to their sons, and then sons to dads when they get to see that, hey, my dad gets to experience what we travel like and live like on the road. So you see both sides of the equation when I sit back and watch. It was a neat experience for all of them, and I love the energy that the veterans brought to the table, for sure.
Since you swapped Mangiapane and Huberdeau, is this the best the top 9 has been as a group?
Probably. I mean, we're getting contributions from all 3, and that's important for us. If you want to say the fourth line, now it's find that identity consistently, and then we really like with where we're at. But the hard part is you can do it for a few games, but how can you do it consistently? And that's really the push right now, is find a way to make sure that we're better tomorrow than we were today. So yes, I would say, to answer your question, this is the best we've looked as a top 9.
I know there are ebbs and flows in a season, but earlier in the year you guys were not starting games the way you wanted to, and right now it seems like you guys are coming out of the gate flying. What's changed, I guess?
Not much, and people say you're not starting games the way you want to because we give up the 4th goal, but that doesn't mean we're not playing the right way to start a game. The other teams are good teams too, so sometimes that can be frustrating. If we came out and we were terrible out of the gate, different story, but in a lot of those games that we were giving up the first goal, we didn't get off to bad starts. There's a mistake that gets made somewhere along the line. The last few games, I feel like the guys have prepared themselves the same way, but what we've done is, besides scoring first, is we pushed for the next one too. So that's something where we're able to keep momentum on our side, the last 2 games in particular. So that's a positive thing for sure.
what does it say about Markstrom when in the waning seconds of the game versus Vegas he doesn't have a glove and he's just fighting through that?
Yeah, well, as a coach, you're a little bit worried when you see that. But with that play too, the one guy that blocks the key shot that probably Markey would have tried to make with his bare hand was Chris. So, I mean, that's what it's all about now, is you have people that are doing whatever they have to do to try to win games. And I think we're slowly getting to that point where everybody's starting to believe in that.
Is that like a function of team chemistry? Like, how does that equation work?
I do think it's part of it for sure. I think it's guys understanding there's certain things that are uncomfortable that you have to do to win games. The shot blocking we've seen from our team this year has been significantly different than in the past, and that's just an example of it. But those are things that allow you to win hockey games.
Ryan, Blake Coleman, NHL second star of the week. I know it's about more than goals and points, but they're 43 games in, 3 goals away from equaling his career high 1 point. If you could just talk about his overall game and what he's brought to your team this year.
He's been excellent. We've talked about him a fair bit this year. I think the break for him over the summer was a really good thing. It allowed his body to heal up a little bit more, and he was able to spend a little bit more time in the gym getting himself ready to go. And then when he came back, he wasn't feeling great yet, but he stuck with it. And I think when you go back to some conversations that we had over the summer, he feels and he felt that there's more offensively from him that he could bring to the table, and it hasn't really been there like he wanted it to be the last couple of years. So he's found some chemistry with the guys he's played with. He's going to the net hard, and when you look at all of his goals, they're right around the net front, and that's Blake Coleman. He's got that. He's one of those guys that you win with. I mean, he's won 2 Stanley Cups. He was a big reason why. So he knows where to go, and he comes to play in the big moments, and that's important for our younger guys to see that for sure.
Just to follow up on that, talking to Michael Backlund, we mentioned the 2 cups, obviously, but he's a guy who has been there twice, but comes to the rink every day with the same drive that he had before he even got that first one. And he says that that's rubbing off on the room. Do you see that sort of hunger as well?
I do. he doesn't. He's another guy that doesn't have a bad day. Like it's pretty neat to watch him how he goes about his business. He comes in and he's the same. You know, he doesn't ride the wave of ups and downs like some guys do. They just, whether it's they don't really understand yet how to do that or it just came naturally to Blake, he doesn't ride the wave. So if there's a tough night, he moves on pretty quick. If there's a great night, he moves on pretty quick. And I think that's what has allowed him to have a lot of success so far this year.